This task force doesn't officially exist, which leaves us on our own.
2 jerks in costumes and a couple of rejects.
It's like a real team out there.
สวัสดีครับเพื่อนๆชาว DC Universe ครับนะครับวันนี้เราจะมาพูดคุยเกี่ยวกับซีรีส์ Peacemaker ครับซีรีส์เรื่องใหม่ของ DC ที่จะเป็นเนื้อหาภาคแยกมาจากภาพยนตร์ The Suicide Squad นะครับที่ทางคุณเจมส์กันเนี่ยก็มาดูแลเองเขียนบทเองแล้วก็กำกับถึง5 ตอนด้วยกันนะครับจาก8 ตอนทั้งหมดและเรานะครับจะพูดคุยเรื่องนี้กับใครไปไม่ได้เลยนอกจากนักแสดงนำและก็ผู้กำกับจอห์น ซีนาและคุณเจมส์กันครับ
Hello to see y'all
So my first question is for James Gunn. I'm curious to know if the idea for the Peacemaker series came to you before shooting the Suicide Squad or it was something that sparked during shooting process.
It was after I was editing Suicide Squad, and in fact, Suicide Squad was mostly edited by that time. So right as we quit shooting Suicide Squad in March of 2 years ago. I came home. I was home for a couple of days, and we had to go into lockdown over the pandemic. So during the pandemic, I edited, and that kept my mind off of everything working on the Suicide Squad. But that started to slow down, and I had nothing to do, and I was trapped at home. So I started writing Peacemaker basically to give myself a distraction, give myself something to do, and I set a goal for myself to write 1 episode a week so that I could have it done. And while I was writing it is really when I went and pitched it to HBO Max, and they said that they wanted to do the show.
And what about the opening scene for the series? Because that's so much fun and I just can't press the skip button. I saw 7 episodes of the series. I watched it every time.
The skip forward button is our enemy. That was the thing we were trying to defeat. I hope we do it. I hope we inspire other TV shows to defeat the skip forward button. A lot of people work hard on the show, and it's great to be able to see their names. That was something that was in the script from the very beginning when I first wrote it. The song was in it from the very beginning when I first wrote it. Wigwam, do you want to taste it?
Meteor. Conflicted, extreme exhibitionist. Everything from certainly the uniform, just the way he talks to folks. I think he wants to be center stage for sure. The extreme measures he goes to do his job, extreme approach he takes to relationships, and conflicted, his adventure in the Suicide Squad and finding out, he did survive, to beginning to question everything he's been brought to believe. I think that explains all this.
After I watching you star in both the Suicide Squad and the Peacemaker series, it makes you were born to play the role of how you speak, how you act, how you are having fun with the character. How did you prepare yourself for the role of Peacemaker?
Well, everybody's process is their own, but I try to take moments from my life and inject that into the performance. And that doesn't mean Peacemaker is me. That means in moments where Peacemaker is sad, I want to be brave enough to look back on my life and be vulnerable enough to be okay with the times I've been sad and think about those things and then transform it into Peacemaker's state of mind. I'm not a good enough performer to just grab those moments out of thin air. I don't have the live audience that I'm used to charge and fuel those moments. So I really have to reflect on my own life, moments of excitement or frustration or sadness or loss or anything, and that helps me transfer that sort of emotion into
The grenade.
Grenade blows up like 2 people.
How many people does this blow up?
I don't know. I invented it this morning.
What?
Eat peace, mother.
I watched the show and saw some Easter eggs about Charlton comics, and wow, I just remember Peacemaker was from Charlton and also as well as Judo Master. I'm start to be curious about more Charlton character in your story. In the future, if you're directing more DC project or Peacemaker have season 2, will we have a chance to see another character Charlton, and which one you want to pick up? Because I really want to know your take on the question on Captain Atom. It would be fun.
I don't know whether we'll ever deal with more Charlton characters or not, but I also am a big fan of the question. So I think that would be a cool character to see, and who knows what'll happen. I think that those characters are fun because they haven't been overly mined. We haven't seen them in many, in any movies really, or TV shows. So it's pretty fun to play with those old characters. Making the show was so fun. It was one of the most fun I ever had because I loved working with John and Jen and Steve Agee and the whole group of people, Danielle. But making it during the pandemic was difficult because you have to wear masks all the time. I'm sitting in a plexiglass booth. The makeup people all have their plexiglass shields on. So it just was, you can't hug people when you see them in the morning. You don't even shake hands. And I miss that. I miss giving people a hug, I miss walking up to an actor and putting my arm around them and, telling them what a good job they did or, being able to whisper in their ear like a note, pretty much I just did everything over the God mic. Everybody knew what all my notes were. But it was challenging, but we got through it. And I'm glad we had it to do during that difficult time because it gave us all something to sort of focus on other than trying to not be sick.
I want to see that Peacemaker is a hero. Every character is driven by what they believe is right. Peacemaker is interesting because audiences have a very different view on that. And I think that's what's interesting about the show. Peacemaker isn't 100% good, and I think it's that pulling to both of the sides that makes the show very interesting and very engaging. And people can have different perspectives and not be wrong. I think Peacemaker is a hero because of this. I think Peacemaker is a villain because of this. They can all be right in their arguments, and I think that's what's interesting about the perspective.
And for John, what was the most fun part when playing the Peacemaker, and do you have any favorite moment on the set?
Oh man, a favorite moment on the set is I got to dance around this one because it's a bit of a spoiler, but there was a moment I got to be in a scene with Jen, and she had done so well at her character that I began to lose myself in what was her character and what was her genuine personality, and she got to show a different side of her character, and it brought me to tears, genuine tears. It says a lot about her as a performer, as a professional, and as a human being. Sitting there crying, knowing that the camera's not on me, was a moment I'll never forget. The Peacemaker was tons of fun, but that moment sticks out.
We don't even know if Peacemaker is going to do well. Hopefully people will like it. I truly love the characters that I'm writing. I work incredibly hard, on every aspect of making a show or a movie. I oversee every single aspect of it. And also, let me say, I fight an awful lot with people. Not with my cast or my crew members because we all get along very well. But, I will fight for my vision every second of the way with everybody. And it's not always that doesn't mean it's a negative thing. Kevin Feige and I fight, we argue about things, but it's never with any malice. It's all for the good of the project, but I will always endlessly battle for what my vision is, and take it as far as I possibly can. And I did that with Peacemaker as well.
Thank you, James. Thank you, John. It's an honor to me to talk the both of you. Thank you very much. แฟน DC ก็ห้ามพลาดเลยนะครับกับ Peacemaker ซีรีส์เรื่องใหม่ของ DC ที่จะฉายวันที่ 13 มกราคมนี้ 3 ตอนแรกจากทั้งหมด 8 ตอนที่ HBO Go เท่านั้นสมัครได้ที่ www.hbogo.co.th หรือสมัครผ่านแอปที่ App Store หรือ Play Store เริ่มต้นเพียง 99 บาทต่อเดือนเท่านั้นถ้าชอบคลิปนี้อย่าลืมกดไลค์กดแชร์กด Subscribe ให้ด้วยแล้วกันนะครับผมแล้วพบกันใหม่ในคลิปหน้าขอบคุณที่รับชมครับสวัสดีครับ